Why don't we start it out with On This Day today? Because Cass was teeing it up that this is probably the most insane On This Day today we have ever had.
Yes. There's one specifically that is easily the craziest one I have ever seen, by far, by doing this. But we're going to start with another great one in 1923. This was the Chicago Black Sox scandal. Not the actual scandal itself, for those who don't know. They call it the Chicago Black Sox. There's 8 players from the Chicago White Sox World Series that were accused of purposely throwing the game for money purposes, betting-wise. And on this day, this was when the players, sued the White Sox for back salary. So they didn't sue to regain their positions on the team or come back to the league because they were already banned, but they wanted their money from that season, their salary that they were owed, which they did not win.
Wait, so was it the salary from throwing the game, or was it?
No, their actual contracts, so they wanted the back salary they were owed.
Well, if you're banned from the league, how are you going to be getting paid a salary?
This was headed by Shoeless Joe Jackson. I mean, there's a lot of issues with this because, there was that issue with Shoeless Joe Jackson couldn't read, supposedly, so they made him sign a contract without him knowing what it says.
Yeah, a lot of people think he should be a Hall of Famer still.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that's because of that, because of the circumstances and everything. It's funny to me that we're talking about this thing that happened 100 years ago, and it's still at a point where we see guys being banned from the league for betting.
Yeah.
It's Class A. I mean, that's a perfect example right there.
Yeah, that one's crazy. I saw a great video, by the way. It's kind of a tangent, but it was this guy, I forget what radio show it was, but he was talking about he's got a weird feeling about the Shohei situation now after Class A got this many years. So, Shohei's the face of the league. He was kind of in a betting scandal, but they just threw it all on the interpreter. And you see Emmanuel Class A and Ortiz, I forget his name.
Yeah, didn't that dude go to jail, the interpreter?
Yes, he is in jail right now.
Oh my God.
And Class A is facing a lot of jail time right now for this. And it makes you think, maybe what does the Shohei situation really look like? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have no idea. It's kind of concerning, though. I think sports betting, this isn't really like a universal, this isn't really like a hot take or anything, I should say, but I think it's kind of universally recognized that sports betting is becoming a lot more concerning, and I kind of worry about leagues and players doing stuff like this moving forward. Maybe not leagues so much as players, but, it's not uncommon to see this kind of stuff happen.
Yeah, it's just the way the betting world's moving, and sports betting specifically. It's gotten out of control. Next up on this day, tangent, cut. By the way, snack of the day is Lifesaver Gummies. Sam and I are eating Lifesaver Gummies because we're a little hungry,
I'm starving.
No one's saying we can't eat this during the show. You know what I mean?
I'm going to have to move away from the mic so I don't just make this an ASMR or something. Like a mukbang.
Some people are into that, though. Some people. Not me, though. 1930, the Montreal Canadiens win the NHL Stanley Cup with a 2-game sweep of the Boston Bruins. This is the third.
They did 2 games back then?
Yeah. This is the third of the team's eventful 24 Stanley Cups. They are the second most winningest team in American sports history.
Yeah, we all know who number 1 is, by the way.
Do you want to remind me?
The Colorado Rockies.
Close.
Yeah, it's obviously the Yankees.
Same history, talent-wise, yes.
Right.
Both established at the same time.
Naturally.
Yeah. Next up, 1989, Michigan beats Seton Hall 80-79 in overtime to win the NCAA basketball championship. Ramil Robinson hits 2 free throws with 3 seconds left for the Wolverines. It's the first time that a first-year head coach in Steve Fisher, who was the head coach of the Fab Five, wins a national title. I thought that one was cool. I was hoping for some Fab Five stuff, but didn't get it.
I forget that Seton Hall even made it to a national championship. Sometimes I forget how good that program actually is.
There's so many schools I see Instagram posts, and they're just ripping on colleges. They're like, I can't believe they made an NCAA championship, or they have one. It's from like 1930, 1940. It's awesome. This next one, I don't usually do research for these. I usually just pick them off the internet because I kind of know most of them. A lot of them include a lot of information as itself. This one didn't, and this was so fascinating to me. In 1996,
This was a crazy
this
one?
is the craziest one I've ever seen. St. Francis scores college baseball run record with 71. 71 runs, and that's all it said. I went more into it. These are some of the details of the game that they just decided not to include in the craziest event I've ever seen. So this game was against Robert Morris.
It was a D1 school?
This was when they were both D2.
Oh my god, they were the same division and they won by 71?
Against Robert Morris, only lasted 4 innings.
Oh my god.
This is a 4-inning game.
Oh my god.
26 runs in the first inning, 22 in the second, a measly 4 runs in the third inning, and then 19 in the fourth. 30 batters went to plate in the first inning.
Oh.
You want to know
my
maybe the
God.
craziest part of this whole thing? 19 of the 71 runs were earned because Robert Morris had 16 errors.
Oh my god.
So only 19 of those runs of the 71 were earned.
What did they put out there?
I don't know.
Was it like what was that one school? Was it like a Cumberland, Georgia Tech thing where they had like scrubs out there and they just got
St. Francis might have, maybe should have been in D1 by then. I don't know. It's insane.
Wow.
They broke, I think, 12 different D2 records at the time. Mike Palermo was a freshman. He tied the NAIA record with 7 hits in the game. And another guy hit for the cycle.
Surprised more guys didn't hit for the cycle.
Is the single craziest thing I've ever seen.
Hold on. I gotta look into this a little bit more.
I didn't believe it at first because I looked up college run record and it gave me D1. And I was like, oh, this is not true. So then I looked up St. Francis college baseball 71 run record. It is real, and it was D2. This is 100% real thing that happened. I still can't believe it.
This article says enough is finally enough in 71-1 baseball route.
That's awesome, dude.
Wait, this is so weird. It was St. Francis of Chicago. No, I'm sorry, St. Francis of Illinois versus Robert Morris of Chicago. So it wasn't even the actual St. Francis or Robert Morris.
Oh, okay.
It was some, like, random schools in Chicago. Well, either way, I mean, come on, 71 runs?
That is, I think we'll hold the record for craziest on this day in the second take.
Yeah, I don't think anything can pass that. The Fighting Saints scored 22 runs in the second, like you had mentioned. St. Francis broke 12 NCAA Division II records and tied 4 others. I mean, how are they not breaking NCAA records? There's no way someone has even more than 71.
Is the most in college history.
It's gotta be. There's no way anyone's even close to that.
The D1 record's like 50, I think.
Even that's nuts.
That's insane, too.
Yeah.
But the D1 record is 50. I forgot who it was.
Because, like, we look at MLB games. I remember that one Orioles game where they put up 30 runs, and that was, like, seen as like, oh, my God, that was crazy.
I used to think when the Yankees scored 20-some runs against the A's back in, like, 2011, 2012 was crazy.
Yeah.
I remember watching that game. They hit 4 grand slams in one game, which is the only time that's ever happened. Awesome game. I remember calling my dad after every grand slam. Curtis Granderson just hit a grand slam. Russell Martin just hit a grand slam.
Oh, my God. 2 great names right there.
Russell Martin.
Yeah, I loved Russell Martin. I liked him on the Pirates a lot.
Yeah, he was good. You remember Francisco Cervelli, also a former Yankee catcher that went Pirate?
Of course.
You got 2 more after this, but it doesn't even compare.
I know. I feel like you should have saved that for last.
Yeah, I should have specifically saved it for last.
All right.
But
wait, so what's the other 2?
We're jumping to 2012. Brittany Griner scores 26 points and grabs 13 boards to help Baylor finish off an undefeated season, winning an 80-61 win over Notre Dame in the women's national title game. Baylor becomes the first team in NCAA history to win 40 games.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
That was a good one.
Last one. I thought this one was hilarious. In 2019, San Antonio coach Greg Popovich is ejected after an NBA record low 63 seconds in the Spurs 113-85 loss in Denver. He received 2 technical fouls within the first minute.
That's a goal right there.
Verbal confrontation with the referee.
That's the best coach of all time right there.
That one might be my favorite. That one's.
I still love the video. I was just watching it the other day where he does the hack-a-shack 5 seconds into the game.
Yeah.
Just to mess with Shaq.
Oh, you were showing me that. Yeah. That was awesome. So, MLB first?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
I'm going to let you take it away with your Phillies because you have a lot more problems than my Yankees do right now.
Yeah, the Yankees are playing great baseball right now. What are you guys, 5-1?
Yep.
The Phillies. So, it's been kind of a combination of a lot of detrimental factors. I think the first big thing, and this is really just the same thing every single year, I'm sure you could say this about every MLB team, but I challenge you to find a team that does it more than the Phillies do, and more consistently. When you have a lineup with that top 3, Trey Turner hitting 300 every year, Schwarber has potential to hit 60 home runs this year, Harper, I mean, that's a former MVP, just 2021, so it wasn't insanely long ago. And they just cannot get runs across. And it's becoming concerning because the only time that they are getting runs across, it feels like, now I say this, they did have a good comeback win against the Nationals, put up 6 runs in that, but it feels like the only time they're really getting consistent runs across in these first 6 games has been home runs. And the problem is they're not even hitting a lot of those. So, look, let's talk about the top 3. Turner's off to a bad start at the plate. Harper is off to a horrible start at the plate. Watching pitches like he's been doing the last 2 years, looks like a lot of what I was worried about in the World Baseball Classic before that last game. And I don't want to overreact too much to that because I said on the show when I was talking about the World Baseball Classic, we shouldn't really overreact to this. But it's still concerning that I'm seeing the same things that he was doing in those games in these games. He's just, I think he thinks that he's Juan Soto, and he's just not that kind of player because pitchers are starting to realize this. They're throwing him a lot more strikes. They're pitching a lot more aggressively to Bryce Harper, which we never could have thought would have been the case even just like 3 years ago.
No,
so that's been an issue.
The MVP Harper? No.
No. They were doing everything they could to pitch it out, like, away from him. Justin Crawford's been awesome in center field. He's been a huge bright spot. Walked off the game.
How about the new guy?
Against the Nationals.
He's been good, dude.
He's been fine.
Leading the team in hits.
Yeah, he's been hot of late for sure. A little bit of a rough first 2 games, but he's kind of gotten back on track. Had his first home run the other day, which was nice to see. I mean, I'm someone that has been pretty high on Adolis. I think that he's going to give us that playoff push, but I still think, at the end of the day, you can't not look at right field and be like, that might hurt us, But Crawford's been awesome. I gotta give all the love to Crawford. He's been a stud. So yeah, it's kind of been just the same old Phillies. The pitching besides Luzardo the other day has been really good. Sanchez hasn't let up a single run in his 2 starts. That's just the kind of pitcher that he is. Wheeler looked great in a rehab assignment in Lehigh Valley.
Do you want to talk about Taijuan Walker or no?
Oh my God, yeah, I forgot. Well, we all know Taijuan Walker's Taijuan Walker. I don't think it's anything.
Last year was kind of an anomaly, though.
He played okay last year.
I remember he started off really good, right? He was one of your best pitchers.
Yeah, he did.
And then the cliff did come. He did fall off that.
Well, because last year was by far his best year as a Philly, because he had the facade that was that, what was it, like 15-win year that he had.
Yeah. But
he had like a 4.2 ERA. Like, he was getting way too much run support. I don't know what to think about this team right now. I know we're going to be fine. I'm not one of those people that sees 3-3 and starts immediately jumping to conclusions and expecting the worst and everything. I mean, that Nationals 13-2 game, that's rock bottom. But I think that they're just coming out really, really slow, and I think that I'm not really used to them coming out slow like that. I'm not used to them limping into the first few games. So I think it's been a little strange for all Phillies fans to see that, and I think a lot of people are panicking. But look, at the end of the day, Crawford's an improvement for me over Johan Rojas in center field or Brandon Marsh. Bader, I'd say let's not really go there yet, but I think he probably will be better than Bader based on how he's been so far. He's been outstanding. It's just going to come down to just, I think, pitching and the bullpen like it has been. I mean, Brad Keller had a rough outing the other day. That's supposed to be the guy that eats up the 7th and 8th innings. So, pitching's kind of what makes or breaks this team. We've seen some great performances. We've seen some not so great performances, both starting pitchers, relievers. So, yeah, I that's where we're at right now as a Phillies fan.
You hit the nail on the head, obviously, because you're a Phillies fan. You know what's going on.
I try.
But you know what you get with a classic Phillies team of recent years. You know that starting rotation, like you said, beast.
Mm-hmm.
Lineup's going to be shaky with some of these guys. Bullpen also shaky. But you still win games. I mean, with how your top guys are performing right now in the lineup and how some of the guys in the bullpen have been giving up a lot of runs and hits, the fact that you guys still have 3 wins and still at 500 is a little crazy to me. I just think that's a testament to the depth, and that's something that you don't hear a lot with the Phillies team because you do turn your eyes right to the Harpers or the Schwarbers or the Turners.
But see, that's the illusion. Like, I come on here and I say the same things every time that I talk about the Phillies because they're the same team. I'm just not seeing it. This is a product of not making a big splash in the offseason since Trey Turner. So,
but I look at the guys like a Brandon Marsh. He's not going to be a star, but
no,
he does his job. He'll get those hits for you when you need them. I'm obviously big on Trey Turner. I know he's had kind of a rough start outside of that first game, but he's another guy. I know he's one of the big names.
Oh, no, yeah.
Justin Crawford, like you mentioned, he could be a big name for you guys. Adolis Garcia is another one. I like a lot of these back half of the lineup dudes who can rake and can hit and can get significant at-bats for your lineup, especially when dudes like Harper and Schwarber aren't performing the way they should be.
Stock goes through streaks, too, where he can be really good. So,
that's why I refuse to give up on this Phillies team now because
I'm definitely not giving up.
I still think they're going to be one of the top dogs in the NL, one of the teams to beat in the playoffs.
I'm not going to give up on them. Excuse the lifesaver, by the way. I'm sure they heard that in the mic. I'm not going to give up on them yet by any means because 6 games is way too early. Even if they lost every game 12-0, it's way too early to give up. But I'm going to say the same way that we're coming out of the gates limping, the Mets have kind of come out of the gates, especially in this last series against the Cardinals, kind of limping. I don't think that's going to last. I think that lineup has so much talent offensively that I'm starting to trend more towards if we see the same old Phillies, if these 3 hitters can't, do what they always do, which I think of any of the 3 of them, Schwarber's going to be the one, in my opinion, that's going to be the most like himself. Indefinitely. Harper, I'm getting worried about just because the injuries, his plate discipline, everything like that's been shaky. And I think Trey will be okay, but I would say Schwarber's definitely the guy that I could see him again hitting 55 homers. He's going to get hot in June like he does every single year.
But that's a good time to get hot, though.
Yeah.
Dog days.
He always has a big summer. So,
and I think that's why you guys win so many games.
Right.
As you guys get hot at the right time. Those dog days are so important to the overall record because, a lot of teams go through slumps. And me personally, I think the Mets still have more to prove.
That's what I'm saying. I'm nervous about the Mets because Bichette's gotten off to a rough start. We could say what we want about Marcus Semien. I don't think he's going to be a great player. So, him aside, all these guys that they brought in are going to start playing really, really good.
But I need to see it first. It's something with the Phillies that it has kind of been the same team, but they still win games, so I still believe in them. The Mets, on the other hand, I saw the team they had last year, which was still a really good team, and they couldn't get it done getting to the playoffs, even after kind of a resurgence towards the end of the year.
That's true.
The roster's much improved upon last year. I think they look much better, much more dangerous. But I still need to see them do it. I still need to see them show that they're going to be one of the best teams in the National League. Well, as opposed to the Phillies, in my opinion, I'm not as worried about them. I know they're going to be good. I know they're going to win games. The Mets still have to prove it to me. Even if from a roster standpoint, I may like them a little better, but I believe in the Phillies more. What kind of lifesaver were you eating?
I don't know. I think the watermelon. Was it the green one or is it the red one?
That one might be my favorite.
The watermelon then. That was the green one. Yeah, that one was really good. I like that one, and then I like the orange.
Yeah, big on the orange.
Those are good.
Orange flavored can be hit or miss, but when it's good, it's good.
I think it has most of, maybe always.
Majority of the time, yes.
So what do we think about the Yankees?
Listen, man, I don't have much to say. This is a great start, obviously. Only a couple games into the year. I thought the series against the Giants was great. Handling that team, who I think is going to be a good team in the future, hopefully. And the Mariners, they were just in the ALCS. Playing the way we did against them was really impressive. Getting to Logan Gilbert the other night for that win was big, even though the bullpen almost gave it up. But I'm happy. I have my concerns. Obviously, I overthink this team more than anyone else. I have more doubt in this team, I think, than anyone else. But I think it's justified because, the bullpen doesn't impress me name-wise. They're playing well right now. I haven't given up a lot of runs at all, especially with guys like a David Bednar or Camilo Doval running that bullpen. It's just the other names, like the next guy, like a Brent Hedrick. That's Brent Hedrick. He's up there. I obviously like Tim Hill too, but the depth is just so short compared to last year when we had so many names in there, especially after the trade deadline, even though it didn't quite go the way we wanted it to, especially with a dude like Doval. But we bring him in. We brought Bednar in last year. And we lost a lot of those guys. We lose Devin Williams, who, as much as he frustrated me last year, his second half of the season was really good. His playoffs were really good. I don't think he gave up a run.
He pitched really good in his first game for the Mets. I don't know how he's been since then, though.
That's just still worrisome for me because I know this rotation well, and I know once June and July hits, they're all going to take a dip down in production, which is normal. A lot of players do that. But it hits the Yankees hard. And when our starters aren't going 7 innings, 6 1/3, 6 2/3, it gets tough to rely on this bullpen, especially a much shorter arm bullpen than I'm used to get the job done. And the offense also goes through the slumps hard.
Yeah.
And they're looking good right now. Giancarlo Stanton, second in the league in batting average.
Yeah, he's been a big surprise so far.
Hello. I still think, in my opinion, he should be kept in bubble wrap on ice and an ice bath until about end of August. Give him all September to warm up, get back in the swing of things, and then he's playoff ready. I mean, he's playing out of his mind right now, but it's hard to trust a guy throughout the year who can crush baseballs 400 million feet but can't open a bag of chips. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So you're saying they should put him on wraps?
They would never do that, and they probably shouldn't do that, but in my personal opinion, keep him in bubble wrap, have him sit, get his footing. You can take some ABs, some batting practice, and then bring him out end of August.
Maybe try and open some chips before he does anything.
Yes, I mean practice. Chips are good. Can you imagine going through life without opening a bag of chips again?
I don't think it would affect me that much.
I think it would.
If I had I know you don't like these, but if I had the Lay's baked, the Ruffle ones, the cheddar sour cream, that's the only one that would upset me if I couldn't
baked?
open them.
No.
They're so good.
How do you even bake Ruffle? I think it's just baked sour cream and onion, like the baked Lay's.
No, it's Ruffles.
So it has the ridges, but it's baked?
Mm-hmm. So good.
I'm in on those. The Ruffles sour cream cheddar onion is the best chip, in my opinion.
I just like the cheddar one. I don't really like onion chips.
Whatever.
This is probably the most intense debate we've had all year.
Yeah, true. Back to baseball. Ben Rice has also been incredible.
Arroz.
I was ripping on him for having a tough first game. He's took off after that.
He's a good player.
And on base of 520 right now.
Yeah, he's a real good player.
Judge is still struggling hard, but that's a trend we see with a lot of these WBC guys so far for some reason.
All of them.
And I think the defense is another big question mark for me that has been really good. I don't have any concerns. You know very well my frustrations with the Yankee defense in past years. Specifically, 2 years ago, I remember freaking out in the old studio about it.
Yep.
Bellinger's been better. He's not worried about him as much, though. Trent Grisham has been fine. He had a hot start, but kind of slowing down. Rotation, though, that's the one right there.
Fried's been unbelievable.
Yet to give up a run.
Unbelievable.
Cam Schlittler, yet to give up a run. I think Schlittler is going under the radar as one of the best pitchers in the league, potentially.
I think he's one of the best 2 guys already.
He could be a 1. What he's doing in his, so far, end of the year last year, in the playoffs, into now, is legitimately comparable to how Paul Skeens started. If you compare their numbers through their first 6 games. I think Paul Skeens had a 2.4 ERA. Schlittler's is at a 2.4, 2.3.
Yeah, he balled out in that game against Boston.
And I think that's going significantly under the radar, how well he's starting, how amazing he looks. And if he keeps this up, he is a legit contender to be in that Cy Young race, in my opinion. He has been so good, lights out. Will Warren, you know what? He's doing good. He's doing his job. He's only given up 1 run. That's not bad. He's got 1 start with 1 run. I take that any time, any day of the week, any game. He's just a dude I don't see in the rotation once Rodon and Cole are healthy, but I hope he is.
Yeah, when's Garrett coming back? Do we know?
It's probably not till June. But it's soon, though. It may even be sooner than that. He's already throwing in simulated games, so it may be sooner than that. And then Ryan Weathers also been a pleasant surprise. Him and Will Warren each only went 4 1/3 innings, but both only giving up 1 earned run each. So
I feel like he was a good get, though, in the offseason, even when it happened.
Yeah, definitely. It's just he's a big guy in terms of staying healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He does not do that aspect of the game very well. So as long as he stays healthy, I think he's going to be a great part of this rotation. But overall, I'm happy. I think this will be an interesting series against the Marlins. I mean, the Marlins are off hot. They're leading the East somehow, but they've also played the Rockies and the White Sox.
Yeah, I don't want to get too ahead of myself about them.
This is their first good matchup. I know last year the Marlins crushed us. I think they swept us last year towards the end of the season when we were going through a really bad slump after the trade deadline. But that's going to be a fun series to see how that plays out if the Marlins are truly a team that should be competing at the top with the rest of these guys, or if it is a fluke between playing the Rockies and the White Sox.
I think you always got to watch out for the Fish. I think they're going to have I think I had them at 6 games under 500 when we did our MLB standing predictions. They're a team that just knows how to win games, and even with depleted rosters. I'm blanking right now on.
What are you blanking on?
Besides Stowers, who even is on this team really?
Oh, Otto Lopez.
Oh yeah,
what's his name?
The Canadian guy, Casey. Owen Casey.
Owen Casey. I just picked him up on my team.
Yep.
My fantasy team. Xavier Edwards. I like him a lot.
Sandy Alcantara.
Mm-hmm.
Good start to the year.
Fun fact. I mean, I won't spoil it, but they have a guy who's top 5 in batting average right now. But it's a part of a whole thing I'm going to get into.
Okay.
He's not a significant player, though. I liked what I saw from Jansen Junk last year, their starting pitcher. He's kind of a back half rotation guy, but I remember him pitching against the Yankees and ripping us. So I woke up in a sour mood this morning, though. I woke up and said, I want to talk about teams that are making me mad because they're being so disappointing, and they should be better.
Yeah, I already know one of them.
I got two teams that I want to get into. That is just baffles me.
Well, you're not really upset about the one.
Not really. But it's still like, why are they doing this poorly? You know what I mean? One of them will start with the A's.
Yeah, disappointing to say the least. I had them at 82 and 80. It's just been a bad start.
And it's been the offense, not the pitching
Yeah,
as much.
it
It's been
has.
the offense that is literally going to be their only factor if they want to be a great team.
Nick Kurtz has just been terrible.
He's been off to a terrible start. Jacob Wilson off to a bad start. Brent Rooker, terrible start.
Yeah.
Tyler Soderstrom. Their new face, Jeff McNeil. All these guys are their best hitters, and they're legitimately off to terrible starts. Timeout, Sam just showed me that the Nationals are beating the Dodgers 3-0.
In the second inning. Are the Nationals not bad?
That is lovely. I don't know why they're doing this good. They
I
are
don't
my
either.
pick to have one of the worst records
Well,
in baseball.
do you remember though, like, first half of the year last year, they were like kind of treading water. Like, they weren't that bad.
They are one of those teams that usually starts off well.
Because James Wood was playing so good.
Yeah.
And then they just,
Stinkers.
yeah.
All except Shea Langoliers, who I like to call Shea Bangoliers, because he's leading the league in home runs right now. He's been very much the opposite of the story of the rest of the lineup. 9 for 24, 5 home runs, 8 RBI. Like I said, leading in home runs, and he's second in RBI. It is early, so I'm not giving up. And especially statistics-wise, this is what I want to get into. For reference of how early we are in the season, these are the top 5 in batting average right now. Joey Weimer of the Nationals. Number 2 is Giancarlo Stanton of the Yankees. Number 3 is Chandler Simpson of the Tampa Bay Rays. Number 4 is Sal Stewart of the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, I like South Stewart.
And 5, who I was talking about in the Marlins before, is Liam Hicks of the Miami Marlins.
Ooh.
Their first baseman.
I like South Stewart, though. That dude's a stud.
But just saying, like, these guys are sucking. Shea Langoliers, he's leaving home runs, second RBIs is crazy. Hopefully, for reference, that should show how early in the season it is.
I was going to get him on my fantasy baseball team, but I missed out. So
Yeah, dude,
just
I
got
was going
Kyle
to draft
Teel.
him as well.
Yeah.
I'm off.
Yeah.
I only had 4 dudes play yesterday, and I was tied with my person. I wake up this morning, I'm up 9-4 again.
Wow.
I don't know what happened.
See, I feel like it's going to be so up and down. We'll talk about my team maybe some other show, but I drafted them last night. I was like, I kind of want to do fantasy, but I was so like dismissive about it to you specifically when you said you were doing it. And then I just got to a point where I was like, I kind of miss doing fantasy. I might as well just pick it up. But I think I'm going to set my lineup for all of 2 weeks before I just drop it.
That's fair. I mean, honestly, it's something you have to check every day, but it's not. I don't go in having to change a bunch of things every day.
Yeah.
So ultimately, you could honestly get by without changing anything and still have, as long as most of your guys are average to well above average, depending on who they are, you still could have a good team.
Yeah, I'm liking my team.
So you should check it every day, but honestly, from what I picked up, it's not necessary.
Fair
Next
enough.
team I want to get into, though. The Red Sox, man.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Everything's sucking for the Red Sox. They're hitting better than the A's a little bit. Willie Abreu has been leading the way for them. Every category. He's off to a crazy start. And a big surprise, their catching tandem of Colton Wong and Carlos Narvaez, a pleasant surprise. They've actually been, both of them, really good at the plate. But it's the guys like Trevor Story, Jarren Duran. Their free agent acquisitions, Wilson Contreras and Caleb Durbin, have been very bad. Young guys, Sinead Rafaela, Roman Anthony, obviously, have not been as bad as the other 4 I said, but not great. But it's the new look pitching staff that has not been good. You were talking to me about, you saw how many runs the Astros put up against them in that series.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Garrett Crochet, electric first start. We talked about it on the show. It was one of our top performances on opening day.
Second start, though.
Second
not so
start,
great.
not great.
Not so great.
Gave up 4 runs. Brian Bayo had a bad first start. Ranger Suarez had a bad first start. Sonny Gray had a really bad first start.
Really bad.
Because there's a clip of him going up for a dribbler, trying to throw home and get the guy out. and he doesn't know if he should throw to first or not, and he just launches the ball out of bounds.
The
It's
anti-Ryan
hilarious.
Kirk ring. You know what? This watermelon's definitely my favorite. By the
Yeah,
way.
isn't it?
That's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, watermelon lifesaver is good.
So good.
We're not sponsored, but
No.
we should be.
No.
We should be.
Yeah.
Lifesaver gummies. If you're listening and you want to reach out to us, please
I
let
would
us
totally endorse them. I would do it for like maybe 5
Can you
free
imagine
bags.
unlimited supply of lifesaver gummies?
That's all that I need. I don't even need money.
Our teeth would be falling out.
Oh
after
my
a
god,
year.
I know.
But yeah, all their starters not off to a great start, except their young pitcher, Connolly Early. For those who are not familiar, he was the guy who, I guess it's alleged at this point, because he said he didn't say it, but he said that he was talking about there's nothing better than beating the Yankees. I want to beat them so bad, all this kind of stuff. But then he gets on to the reporter, he's like, I didn't say any of that. Got to stand on business.
Yeah, I was going to say that would have been awesome for Red Sox fans.
Or
to
no,
hear that.
I remember what it was. He said, if the Yankees were the only team to offer me a contract, I wouldn't sign. Or I wouldn't be playing
So he did
baseball.
say it.
Yeah. But then he went off and tried to say he misquoted. He didn't say that.
Why?
I don't know. But he's actually been off to a great start. His first start, 5 1/3, 6 Ks, only 1 earned. Good start.
Mhm.
But if I'm being honest, I am worried about this rotation, even though it's early on. Brian Bale was good last year, but unfortunately it's kind of an anomaly compared to his previous seasons in 22, 23, 24, all of which he had about a 4.5 ERA. Sonny Gray was not great last year, also a 4.5
That's
ERA.
true.
And he's not going in the right direction age-wise. Ranger Suarez also had a great 2025.
I think he's going to be fine.
But he's another guy whose age and his pitching style, I think, it might not last very long. He doesn't throw hard.
No, he doesn't. But I think Ranger will be just fine.
And if his stuff's not getting swing and misses, he's not very good. So I am...
He's always, to me, he struck me as a guy that just was like a low-run guy. Like, he doesn't get a crap ton of strikeouts. Oof.
But he feels like a guy who should be better, one of the better ones in this rotation. I don't know if he will be.
Yeah. I don't know with this Red Sox team. I was very high on them. But yeah, Sonny Gray, like,
I was
know
not
about
big.
that
I was
signing.
not big on that signing going into it, and it's proven me right so far.
He might just be bad at this point. I mean, he's what, 36?
Yeah, that's all I got for them too. They need to step it up. They should be 2 good teams. Specifically, the Red Sox. They should be a lot better. But the A's, I'll still give it a year or so. All these guys are still young. Pitching staff's still not great. It's probably not going to be great until they finally move to Las Vegas, whenever that happens.
Yeah. Probably never.